I've just sat and watched a rather impressive performance from Forest. They are a side that have kind of gone under the radar a little bit. Not anymore. They're 5th. Only lost one game this season. That was at home to Fulham. Haven't lost away all season. I saw them at Stamford Bridge. They're a tough nut to crack. Yeah. They're very well coached. I saw them the highlights against Liverpool. They went there and they beat Liverpool, took points off Chelsea. This is a side that can cause big problems. Underestimate them at your peril.
Yes, I think we're going to hear more about Forest now. I think they're on the radar. I think people will start talking about them. 5 points off the top of the table. Jeez. I know they're in 5th. But like you said, they've took points off some big, good teams.
Yeah.
Brighton at the moment. Yeah. We've seen them with them to Spurs.
2-2, they drew away there.
Yeah, good team. Chelsea, fantastic at the moment. Took points there and actually beat Liverpool at Anfield. I know, they was under the cosh for probably, 75, 80 minutes, but still, they had a game plan, stuck to it, and it worked. And like you said, they're a tough nut to crack. Liverpool couldn't do that. And, rightly so. Nuno Espirito has got them playing in some good stuff and in a great place. Last season, they was flirting with getting relegated.
They absolutely were. So when I saw them at Stamford Bridge, they came in, they had a game plan, and they nearly pulled it off. They went down to 10 men, and Jota, I think it was Jota, had a header, literally last action of the game. But what's impressed me is how they can go to Stamford Bridge, set up with a game plan, be difficult to beat, hard to break down, no space in behind, workmanlike. But tonight, very different looking Forest. They had the pace out wide from Malanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi. This is a team that can play different styles depending on the opposition, and that is a sign of a damn good manager.
Good manager, and that's a scary thought as well. When you know your team's got a plan A, B, C, whoever they're playing against, but can pull that off, execute it amazingly well to perfection, then that's a team that can do very, very well in the league. Because like I said, every team's got a different firepower. If you come up like the Man Cities, the Liverpool, you've got to just weather the storm. You go away to your Brightons, you might have a little bit more of the ball. You play your Southampton, your Leicesters, you're going to have more of the ball. So you have to be on the front foot. You can't be one-dimensional. No. And these have got different plan Bs, plan Cs, plan As. So, it's... Fair play to them.
Indeed.
What a turnaround.
It's been a remarkable start to the season. They've got a number of players in this side that we're going to talk about individually, but Chris Wood deserves a huge amount of attention. His 7th goal of the season so far. Scores big goals, scores a lot of the first goals. He's one of those players that causes a lot of problems. We're going to talk about his 3rd goal, but I want to talk about his first initially. That goal there, the ball, for those that haven't seen it, it's a lovely little bit of movement in front of the centre half, but he shows and just drops a little bit deep, receives the ball with his left foot on the half turn, has his back to goal, in one movement, swivels, puts his laces through it, finds the bottom corner. That to me is a stride, not only on form, right? But
confidence.
But yeah.
Confident around the box, know where the goal is. And it was a bit like Harry Kane-esque. Yeah, it was something that you've seen him doing years in game, and week and after week after week. And Chris Wood is a player that he does go under the radar. At times when he's at Newcastle, he was banging in goals. Everywhere he goes, he scores goals. Yeah. But he may not be so pleased on the eye. He may not be your most flourished striker, but he does the job. What's on the team, he scores goals. And at the moment, he looks very happy with himself. He looks happy at Forest. He's now the main man there. At one stage, it was Iwoni, but now he's the main man. And it just shows you, for a striker, what confidence can do. For any player, what confidence can do.
Indeed, yeah. His 3rd goal, we'll talk about that. Vass has got a right mix-up with his goalkeeper there. I'm going to ask that question. Who was to blame? For me, a little bit of both. Right, balls up. But give Chris a huge amount of credit. He forced the mistake because he was there. He chased a bit of a lost cause. Gambles, gets the gamble and manages to finish him off. This, by the way, the scoreline, even though it was 3-1, that flattered Leicester. Yates could have had a couple more. Chris Wood might have had a couple. That could have been 5 easily tonight. Easily. Let's go to the lines. 03717 222344. Let's speak to Mark, who's a Forest fan in Australia. G'day, Mark.
G'day, Jamie. G'day, Jermaine.
G'day. How you doing, bud?
I'm okay, mate. Sounded American, didn't I?
You're a Forest fan, Mark, right?
I'm a Forest fan. I've been a Forest fan since I was 5 years old. That's 47 years.
Right.
And this would be one of the best wins I've ever seen them do under Nuno. Mm-hmm. And I think he is as brilliant as Steve was, getting us back to the top flight and displaying the form they are based on tonight. I think they can go all the way to not just get European, get into the European campaigns, but to take the premiership this year.
Marky boy. I know you're a million miles away and you might be a bit, confusing all that. But
okay, I'll tell you what, let's hear him out. Let's hear him out. Mark, state your case.
Okay, the reason I'd say that is because you could basically sum it up in 3 words. Anything can happen. Because Manchester United are not displaying that good a form this year, and they're celebrated supposedly as the number 1 team on the planet. And I think the sideline guy for talkSPORT at the Nottingham match tonight summed it up really well. He said, I would believe that Nottingham Forest is this year's dark horse. And if they can quietly continue the consistent form they are, they can definitely upend someone like Manchester United. Anything can happen with other teams like Manchester City who are displaying good form. And I reckon, based on consistent, successful regularity, they can do it.
Do you know what? Funny you said that they could win the league is that, do you know, after the game, I was sitting in the green room and I was thinking, just imagine if Forest were the Leicester of 2016. But you've got the juggernauts of Man City, so I don't think that's going to happen. One quick question, Mark. How have you become a Nottingham Forest fan all the way in Aussie?
Well, it all just started when I was a kid, when I was 5 years old. I used to watch the soccer programs they had. The name of it escapes me. But the most consistent team they had on telecast over here was Nottingham Forest. And I've always been a big Robin Hood fan since I was a kid. So Nottingham Forest was the team for me.
Okay. Well, look, let's appreciate the call, Mark. I don't think you're going to win the title, but I think what you seriously can do is get European football next season.
Yes.
I think there's just too many good sides at the moment that do not appear. I mean, Liverpool and City are setting the pace. If you can get anywhere near 5th and 6th, I would take it now, Marky Mark.
Yep. I'll be in for that.
Right,
I still believe they can take the premiership this year, but they're in very good form.
They are.
And I think other teams should seriously watch out because Nottingham's right on your case, and so look over your shoulder.
The tricky trees are on their way. Mark, appreciate the call.
That's it. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, mate.
There's Mark, Forest fan for Australia.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.